This is just my somewhat casual update on nursing school. I know I have been MIA for several weeks. I've been trying to get used to the flow of things. This is very informal. This was kind of a last minute sit down, so I'm sorry if it's a little choppy and a little long. I was just trying to get everything in there that I could. It's been a ride. I'm still very happy and still very grateful to be here. And I'm halfway through my first semester of nursing school. So here's how it has been going for the past 7 weeks. I'm trying to record this video and my chickens are, what's the word? Roostering? They're not roostering. What is it? They're crowing. Well, it's that. My brain is not working this morning as well, if you can tell. But I have been gone for quite a while. I definitely have not stuck to my weekly uploads. And I kind of had a suspicion after I got out of my orientation of nursing school that I might need to take a little break on YouTube because shit was about to get real, and it did. But now I'm back, at least for an update. I just wanted to sit down and just have a morning coffee video type of vibe and go over how nursing school has been going for me. And I've been really stressed in the back of my mind about getting this video out there, and this morning I just decided to sit down, get it done. It doesn't need to be an entire production, it doesn't need to be a big thing. I am going into my 7th week of nursing school, and of course we have delays and the school is closed today. It's doing a delayed opening tomorrow, but I'm about halfway through my first semester of nursing school, which is crazy to me. I let my coffee get cold because I made my coffee and then decided to do this. It's okay. We'll drink it. I don't like cold coffee. I am not an iced coffee girl. So the last video that you saw of me was orientation of nursing school, and you saw at the end of that video that I was very overwhelmed, very stressed, and I'm happy to say that I don't feel as stressed anymore, that I really feel like I've gotten a good grasp on things. I'm taking Intro to Pharmacology, which is basically all dimensional analysis and drug calc, and also nursing fundamentals. Nursing fundamentals, I have a lab day / clinical day on Wednesday, and then I have a lecture day on Thursday. And we have officially started clinicals tomorrow and Wednesday. We actually do go into our lab for the first part of the day, and then we go to our clinical site to get patient information. And then after that, on Wednesdays, it's just clinicals, no more lab. We're doing a nursing home, and the facility is amazing. The residents are so nice and so sweet. I'm really excited to do my clinical there and have my first clinical there. I've had 2 nursing exams for nursing fundamentals, and I've had 2 exams for my pharmacology class. And I'm happy to say all have gone very well for me. The lowest grade I've made on a test is a B, and I've made an A on all of them except one. I'm putting in the work, I'm studying my butt off, and even though I still get very anxious going into these tests, I still doubt myself every single time, every minute I'm taking the test. I think I'm doing okay. I think what I'm doing is working. I think the study methods that I'm using are working. Right now I'm just taking it day by day, week by week, test by test, and it's going okay. I'm surviving at this point. Now, none of this is to say that I don't have any stress or that everything's fine and it's a breeze. It's been more manageable than I would have thought. Now, it's my first semester and I'm only halfway through, so, you know, things may change. In 3rd semester, which I'll be taking over the summer, that one is going to be very, very difficult. I'm gonna have pretty much Monday through Friday, I'm gonna be gone, and with classes and clinicals and things like that, because it is a summer semester, it's shorter, and I'll have more classes crammed into a smaller amount of time. But so far, first semester, it's okay. I'm still here. I'm still above water, it's going really well. And one thing that I've been kind of surprised about is that all of my nursing supplies, the video that I did, and I don't know if I can link it here above. I'll try that. I've never done that in a video, but I'll link that video above. All the nursing school supplies that I have gotten, I have used. Every single bit of it. I've actually had to get a little bit more. I did mention in that video that I was gonna go light on paper and pen because I use my iPad for all of my school things. And I eventually did have to get a small like flexible binder just to put my papers for clinical in because we can't be walking around the facility with an iPad taking notes on our patient. I did get a little flexible binder to have clinical papers in, and I have been taking some notes in a regular notebook, mainly lab notes. And the number one thing I have found the most helpful is that little badge thing that I wasn't able to show in that video. Maybe I can show you a picture here. It has like a pin, has a few pins attached to it, and you can put it on like your badge reel and you can pull it down whenever you need it. It made such a difference for me. We had head to toe check off and were able to bring like a piece of paper to write their vital signs on and things like that. And just having that pin attached to me instead of having it on top of the desk. I don't know what it was, but it made such a difference. I felt like having as much as I could on my body helped me have my shit together more. So I wasn't like constantly reaching for a pen and a pen light and paper and whatever. I had that small notebook that I had in my supply video that I'm going to use for clinicals. I had that like tucked in a pocket. I had my badge reel with my pen on it, my pen light in my pocket, stethoscope around my neck, blood pressure cuff in another pocket. So I had everything like on my person. And practicing leading up to that physical assessment, I didn't do that. And I felt like I was fumbling around and I was not doing things in a organized, systematic way. And I was getting like stressed out. And then a few nights before we had our check off, I kind of was like, okay, let me see what I can cut down on that's off of my body that's making me feel this squirrely way. And just having it there where I could just like, okay, let me check your pulse. Okay, all right, it's whatever it is. And it's like stuck to your badge reel, so it would go right back up. So I didn't have to like uncap a pin and then cap the pin and put it back in my pocket. So I don't know, that just to me has been really surprising that such a small thing like that can make a big difference. Anyway, let me get off my little badge reel soapbox. They're the best, you should get one. Lab, so the first day that I went into lab, we have, okay, let me explain. Nurse 134, fundamentals. 2 parts to it, lab, lecture, and you usually have 2 different professors, one for lab, one for lecture. Some people do have the same professor that teaches lecture for lab, but I don't. So the first day I went into lab, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know how many people are gonna be in my class. I'm thinking it's gonna be a large group. We walk in and they have these setups like real hospital rooms. There are no desks for 6 hospital beds. There's 8 people in my group. So it was a much smaller group than I had anticipated. I quickly realized that lab days, which are my longest days, they're 7 to 4:30. All day we're doing practice, we're doing skills, catheters, G-tubes, physical assessments, vital signs, all of those kinds of things we're practicing in the lab, and we're practicing them on each other, not urinary catheters, not G-tubes, nothing like that, but physical assessment, vital signs. And then what we don't practice on students, we practice on mannequins, and they have a very nice facility. We have checkoffs. So once we learn a skill and we practice it, our professor watches us and checks us off to see if we're able to do it. The group of people that I'm with, they're very nice. I like all of them. They're a great group of students. For a lecture, we go in on Thursdays for 2 hours. You're expected to go over the material before you go in class. So this week we're doing infection and inflammation. I've already gone over the PowerPoint. I've already made notes. I'm good to go. So I'll go into class on Thursday and she's gonna run through those PowerPoints and if we have any questions, we can talk about it. So for tests, when we go in and we take our tests, they're very strict. Like, you're not supposed to wear big, baggy things like this. You have to put everything up at the front of the room. You have to keep your hands above the desk, like they can't go below. You have to like keep your eye on your screen, obvious things like that. But even just like looking around the room, nope. If they even suspect anything, you're out. And a lot of the professors in the nursing department come in the room and they're walking around and watching you. And that to me is very intimidating. I've never been one to have test anxiety, but when I went in to take my first test, I was having heart palpitations. I was so nervous. My palms were sweating. I was terrified, not only because I didn't know what this test was going to be like, I didn't know what the material was going to be like in terms of how it was going to ask the questions. So that was very nerve-wracking. I was like, I don't know if I've studied enough. I feel like I don't know anything. That, and then also just having all your nursing professors walk around and watch you, something about it to me, it makes me very nervous. And I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not cheating. I'm not doing nothing, but just sitting there, like having them walking around watching me is unsettling. So testing has been very nerve-wracking when we go in. And one thing I really love that they do is, if after a test, statistically speaking, if everyone performed poorly on a question, they'll go back and give you points for that. So I personally feel like I don't have professors, I'm not in a program where if we take a test and an answer really like is worded poorly, it's really worded poorly, or something's misspelled or something's off about the question, they're not just gonna be like, sorry, too bad, that's nursing school. They're fair. They're gonna fix stuff if there's a problem. And I really, really appreciate that about them as a group of professors and the program in general. So for dosage calc for Intro to Pharm, I've actually really enjoyed that. So it's all math basically. And for me, I used to hate math as a high schooler. It turns out that I actually really enjoy math, because when you show me, hey, here's how I want you to do this problem, here's how you're gonna get the right answer, I'm going to practice that 100 times until I can do it with any numbers you give me. So that's been an easy class to me. I've heard some people don't like it. Some people don't like taking it with Nurse 134. Some even try to take it this summer before their fall semester. I will say at the beginning of the semester, it was a little overwhelming having both classes, but dare I say, Intro to Pharmacology has been a breeze for me. It clicks, I practice, and it's only a 7-week course, so it's actually just half of the semester. And I'm almost done. I'm about to take my final next week. The course material, it is a lot. It's a lot. And some weeks I'm struggling, some weeks I'm stressed out, and I'm just like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And so far, before I walk in to take my lecture exams for Nurse 134, Fundamentals, I doubt myself. I'm like, I don't think I studied enough. I don't feel like I know anything. I feel like I just breezed through PowerPoints and didn't retain anything. Then I go in and I take the test and it's fine. Our second exam had nursing process on it. And to me, from what I've heard, from what I can understand, that is a huge thing in nursing school for the NCLEX, but just being able to understand the nursing process, walk through it, being able to answer questions based off of it. Thankfully, that was the one area I decided to read the textbook on. So I am trying not to read the textbook as much as I can when it comes to fundamentals. One, the textbook stresses me out. And if you saw my last video, you saw that thing was thick. It's like 2,000 something pages. And when I open it up, I get very overwhelmed. There's all these text box and pictures and colors, but yeah, so the textbook really overwhelms me. I try not to open it when I can. There's a ton of information. I don't want to say that we don't need to know, but there's just a lot of fluff. There's a lot of extra things in there, and it throws me off, it overwhelms me. So I like to stay out of that book as much as I can. But for the nursing process, I felt like there were things that I was not grasping. and it was all like melding together in my brain. So I was like, I need to open my textbook and I need to force myself to sit down and read this. And it actually did help me. It had tons of examples. This is where the extra information helped me. Read through 4 or 5 chapters. It was painful, but it helped. So far that's really all that I've used the textbook on. Most of the time I reference the objectives that we have for the test, YouTube videos, PowerPoints, and our professors do give out pre-recorded lectures. So I just go through all of that. That's kind of been my study method. So then I'll go and I'll take any of that information and just kind of brush up on all of it, make sure I know it, make sure I can apply it. That's a huge, huge thing. Making sure you can apply the information. I've kind of gotten a little bit of a grasp on how to study. A lot of people say that nursing school isn't hard, but I think what they mean is the material isn't hard. So I would agree, at least for now. I'm sure I will change that at some point in the future. The material that we're going over is not hard, at least for me. What's hard is the time and the amount. So the amount of information we have to know and learn, the time frame that we have to learn and know this information, that's what's hard. And then when you add in life, whether you're working while you're in school or even if all you do is nursing school, that's hard. Nursing school is hard. For me, I'm a mom of 2, I'm married, so nursing school, the time, the amount of information, also with balancing it with life and a family and those types of things, it's really, really difficult. So nursing school is hard. I think where I'm appreciating some things is the material for now is not as hard to grasp for me. So with that, I'm kind of able to breeze through the PowerPoints a little bit and then go deeper on the applying portion, which I think is the most important thing. At the end of each semester, we have to take a HESI exam, and there are certain grades and certain scores we have to get. And I will say that the HESI is stressing me out because I've heard from a lot of people you can't really prep for it. And I know for some people you have to take a HESI to get into nursing school. We didn't have to do that. But what we do have to do is take a HESI kind of exit exam at each semester, at the end of each semester. And that stresses me out because we have EAQs, little quizzes each week. And to me, the stuff that's on these quizzes, we haven't gone over in class. And I don't think we're gonna be going over a lot of it this semester. So I'm like, how do I prep? What do I do? What do I study? It'll be fine. I still have 7 more weeks. But yeah, I mean, it's been a ride so far. It has not been easy, but the stress has gotten better for me personally. Life balance, work-life balance, school-life balance. Clearly I'm struggling with a little bit because I haven't been on here, and this is my hobby. This is what I like to do. And as you can clearly see, I have not been able to do it as much. I'm just trying to get used to life, and nursing school has really been a huge change. It's definitely not been quite what I expected in terms of my ability to balance things. With prereqs, even when I was taking like 5 classes at a time, I never felt this constricted on my time and what I was able to divvy up in terms of how I was able to spend my time. You know, it's been okay. I've been really trying to get in a better routine of spending quality time with my kids. That's another reason why you don't see me on here, is because if I do have time, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be spent with my kids or catching up on housework. To be able to sit here and do this video now means that I just have a little bit more time, just a little bit. I keep reminding myself this is temporary, 2 years, and I'm halfway through my first semester. So that means I only have half of this semester to go, and then spring semester, summer semester, fall semester, and then another spring semester, and then I'll be done. And I love that my kids see me doing it. It's just been really fun. I feel like I'm doing this with them. I feel like we're all getting this degree together, and I think that's kind of cliche to say, but it's true. My husband, him working, I couldn't do this without him. I don't know if I could work and be a mom and be in school. I don't know. I don't think I could do that. My kids, they're supporting me. They're being so understanding, and I'm so grateful for that because I take so much time away from them. And it's really hard sometimes. My first ever day that I left for lab, we have to be there at 7, so I'm like rushing out the door like 6:15. My husband's taking the kids to school. I'm rushing around, getting all my stuff, get out the door, I get there, or I'm like pulling into the driveway, my husband calls me and my daughter's crying in the background because I forgot to tell her bye. That hit me so hard because I've been a stay-at-home mom for the most part, and the only time my kids are away from me is when they go to school. And so when she called and she was crying because I forgot to say bye to her because I am now the one that's leaving, that sucked. And that was kind of hard for me. So I have not forgotten to tell her bye since then. But yeah, I mean, it's taken a lot of time away from my kids, and it's sad sometimes, but I remind myself, you know, they're getting to see me work hard for something I want, work hard for this degree that I want and a better life for us. So that to me is really big, and I'm really proud of it. So I have 2 more tests for Intro to Pharm and then my final, and I'll be done with that class for this semester. And then I have test 3, test 4, test 5, and my final for Nursing Fundamentals and my HESI exam as well for that class. I'll also be doing clinicals as well. Like I said, I hope to keep you guys updated, and I really appreciate every single one of you. Wish me luck for the end of this first semester and that the rest of the semester goes okay. I'm thinking about doing a study video of how I've been studying for nursing school. I think I'm only gonna do that though if I make it out of this semester with all A's. I'm not sure, but yeah, we're out here surviving. I will have linked my nursing school supplies video because I'm telling you, so much of that I have used. Every bit of it I've used. Down to the compression socks. I like those. Those have been great. The shoes, everything. It's been really, really nice. I've used all of it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.